Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Stellar Lumens, aka XLM. But before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask for all those XLM holders out there, definitely hit that like button and also comment down below how you guys have been liking the overall price action within this market. Today is Friday, so by the time that this video does go live, we might already have seen a major drop in the market. Fridays are usually volatile for a lot of assets and also for crypto. So when we really kind of look at the Friday, I'm not really expecting a lot of price action today in positive. But I will say I have been enjoying the overall price action because we did see something very significant on the chart for XLM. So stay tuned to the end of this video to definitely look into that and listen closely, because I do think that we are at that major point in the market where a lot of people should be paying attention to create incredible wealth opportunity. Now, also, for those out there that are not subscribed to the channel, over 50% of you are not. By the end of this video, if you guys did learn something new, maybe you found something interesting, whatever the case may be, definitely consider subscribing and turning notifications on to never miss a future update, as I'm constantly doing a whole bunch of research, looking into a whole bunch of things as well, and trying to keep you all up to date on everything happening around crypto. So with all that in mind, let's just dive in, and let's start off with this tweet here from Black Swan Capitalist. And when you see America's last and greatest wealth transfer, two blockchain plays, XRP and XLM. Now, of course, I do think that's most of crypto. I don't just believe that's these two assets, but I do think that these two are very, very incredible opportunities in this market that a lot of people kind of overlook simply because they have not performed the greatest within the last 4 years. I also do believe that XRP holders kind of hate XLM holders and vice versa, but if you could find the difference on both of them and find the value behind both of these projects, then guess what? You are setting yourself up for incredible wealth creation. So listen closely to this video, and then we will address a few things after the fact.
Government representatives, 1,250 private sector leaders, tech innovators, and the world's most powerful billionaires came together for a secretive meeting. And while their public records show them discussing topics such as clean energy, the metaverse, climate change, consumer lifestyle, drones, and more, there's one topic that stole the show: blockchain. My point is, while these elites disparage these investments publicly, tricking the masses, they're quietly piling into the technology at the center of it all. The World Economic Forum has just projected blockchain to be an $867 trillion disruption.
And again, I do really want to put a spotlight on one thing that she did mention there, and it's the fact that they are tricking the general public into believing that crypto is this big scam, that, crypto is this, crypto is that. But at the end of the day, we are seeing major amounts of money flooding into crypto from the same individuals that are saying the same exact thing year over year over year. And it's players like JP Morgan, the big bankers, BlackRock, and mainstream, right? Mainstream media will constantly tell you that crypto's this, that, whatever at the lows. And then all of a sudden when things start to pop off, they love to mention crypto. Because first off, not only the ratings blow up, they're getting a whole bunch of numbers from the retail sector because now crypto is this big, fancy opportunity to make a ton of wealth. Although, guess what? They're buying the top, so they're going to most likely lose money. So when we really kind of look at this market, first off, now is the best time to be in crypto. Like, now is the best time to open your eyes to the opportunity in front of you. But it's also an incredible moment in history around finance and the entire wealth creation sector. And I don't mean like wealth creation sector, I just mean like the global wealth transfer that will most likely happen within, I would argue, the next couple years. So when we really kind of look at crypto and when we look at the overall focus point, yeah, the $867 trillion opportunity has been mentioned many times in the past, and it's because the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum has so many names tied to it. And if you looked at their partnership list, you'd be shocked at how many major partnerships that they have in place from mainstream brands. These are some of the largest companies out there that every single individual out there utilizes, basically. And they are predicting that blockchain could disrupt $867 trillion in traditional markets. Think about, tokenization. Think about tokenization, digitization. We're seeing digital workflows happening around major corporations and business entities. And this is just the starting point, right? So think about just how large this could become. And we do see here such thinking lurks behind a new report from the World Economic Forum, the organization whose annual meeting in Davos, which, by the way, Davos is actually happening right now. Switzerland has been, at least prior to the coronavirus pandemic, a venue of choice for the global financial and regulatory establishment. And you do see a lot of the board members there: Christine Lagarde, Larry Fink from BlackRock. We also do see David Rubenstein from Carlyle Group, and also even the Indian billionaire businessman Mukesh Ambani. I hope that I'm saying that name right. I'm probably not, but nonetheless, this is focused on the traditional private market. But we also see a little bit of a breakdown down here. So we look at, in all, it works out to about being 170 trillion almost here. But we do see equity markets 95 trillion, debt markets 106 trillion, securitized products 10 trillion, derivatives 560 trillion. We know that this number could change drastically. It could be worth, $700 trillion plus. It's questionable, right? Securities financing repurchase agreements 4 trillion, securities lending 2.9 trillion, and asset management / fund administration $89 trillion. So this is a huge, huge area. And the funny thing is that this is from the World Economic Forum, right? When we look at the World Economic Forum, we know that Davos is happening right now. In fact, we actually do see over here, this got posted on the 12th. This is from the SDF blog. We do see bringing Stellar Aid assist to a global forum. This is going to be at Davos, so I'm going to zoom in for you guys out there that, maybe the screen's a little bit blurry, whatever the case may be. So we do see that Stellar Aid Assist is a solution that directly addresses a real-world problem. It gives aid organizations a new alternative to providing individuals with physical cash. Cash can put them at risk day-to-day and when crossing borders. It does not require a bank account, debit card, or credit card, and provides recipients with a more secure plan to hold and transport funds until cash is needed. Individuals can, 1, remotely receive relief payments from aid organizations or governments in digital dollars, 2, hold them more securely in a stable store of value managed from their phone, and 3, exchange these digital dollars for local currency at MoneyGram locations around the world. You see what Stellar is doing here. When you compare it to what Ripple is doing, it's night and day, right? XLM and XRP, first off, are completely diverse to what Stellar does or what Ripple does. These are the digital assets that provide a ton of power for a lot of the use cases that they're trying to build out. This one is very interesting to me, though, because this is a key fundamental problem around the retail sector, which we know that Stellar is focused on retail. We know that Ripple is more so focused on the banking sector. But this is huge, right? And this is going to be a major discussion at Davos, and we do see that it convenes representatives from across government, business, and civil society to address the state of the world and discuss priorities for the year ahead. Leaders of aid organizations and government agencies from around the world, the potential users of Stellar Aid Assist, will be there to hear about how they can leverage the solution for those who need quicker, more transparent, and more accessible forms of aid disbursement. I do believe that when we look at Stellar, when we look at even Ripple, we will see mass adoption. We will see adoption well beyond the means of what most individuals are anticipating going into the next 2 to 3 years. And I really think that right now, as we really kind of look at things happening around crypto already and blockchain technology, we know that it's becoming a big thing. We know that most of the major elite entities around the banking and financial sector want to utilize this technology. They want to adopt this technology, and it's getting more and more clear as day and day goes by, because of the announcements that we are seeing, because of the initiatives that are being taken, and we are seeing a big race towards digitization of the entire financial system from major nations around the world. So it's only a matter of time before we see that major shift happen. And I do think that Stellar will be behind it. I mean, we constantly see major updates from Stellar. We actually do see over here from Stellar, transparency, accountability, and low transaction costs were among the many cited benefits of blockchain in a report by Tascom Bank. During their pilot, one of Ukraine's oldest banks cited the future of e-currency on Stellar as promising. And yeah, I do think that when we really kind of look at what Stellar has done, I think that they have created something very, very interesting, especially for P2P transactions and the retail sector. And we actually do see a quote here. So as part of a pilot project, we explored a new way of issuing and managing electronic money, which could be a new generation means of payment for the citizens and organizations of Ukraine, their employees and clients, government institutions and international organizations. The results of the pilot project presented the openness of the bank's infrastructure to blockchain solutions in the future. They could provide an appropriate level of financial services using blockchain assets, taking into account all regulatory requirements. So as we really kind of look at this, like this is, what we want to see. This is becoming the big shift. And we also do see Danielle Dixon talking about how Stellar is designed for asset issuance. The findings of this pilot show the potential utility of the technology for businesses, governments, and even citizens. It confirms that with an open source technology, innovators like Tascam Bank, with the support of the MDT, can configure virtual assets that are secure, interoperable, and even meet regulatory standards. We believe this pilot proves the real-world solutions built on Stellar and sets the foundation for greater adoption of virtual assets in the Ukraine. And it's only a matter of time before it starts to kind of shift outside of the Ukraine and really kind of bleed into almost every single day life. And I think that this is very, very exciting. Now, let's actually talk about the price chart. So, like I said in the beginning of this video, I think that this should be in everyone's focus point right now. So, remember what I said. Focusing on the macro, going from the topping point to the March of 2020 low, check out where we just landed, the 702 retracement. Historically, this has been a big area. I do have the support range going all the way back to 2019. This is on Binance's chart. I could use Coinbase. We could even look at Coinbase if you guys do want. I know Coinbase does have a little bit more price data. I also did look at this for a while and really kind of focused on it, on where we currently are at price wise. So here is the horizontal line. Let me make sure that this is directly on the bottom wick here. I try to make this as accurate as possible just to make sure that everything is right on. So there we have it. And again, going back to the fib scale levels, let me go to the topping point here. And so this is going to be the inverse one from what we've seen over there. So again, this one's kind of giving us a little bit of an insight on where we could come back down to, which is the 236. Do I think that the bottom is in? Well, when we look at the fib level on the inverse, so technically this would be the wrong way to draw a fib scale level. Look at where we did kind of lead to here. So, and by the way, you can go to the macro too on this if you wanted to. Like, you can go off of the topping point back there, which kind of would shift things, but I do like to kind of go off of this one more. So we ended up coming down to slightly below the 702. On Binance, it's the exact 702. Just to give you guys a quick insight, just to show you guys that I'm not lying. Here you guys have the exact 702 retest, and this was at like 7 cents almost. And this is what we were betting on, right? We were betting on this being targeted in my last XLM video whenever I posted that one. I don't know when I posted that one, but we were betting on this. And the very interesting thing about this is that I have a hidden fib scale level over here. We could actually hide that one. My target point is the 1618 going into the next major cycle, which would be about $3.62. This is an upside of 50x on XLM. And I do think that this is going to follow XRP closely. Now, is the bottom in for XLM? Well, if we do retest this, by the way, so candle wicks are a little bit different on all charts, but if we do retest that range, this would be about almost a 14% drop. If we do go lower, so the big question in the room is, will we go lower on this? Well, when we look at this, so let me turn off this fib level and let's look at this. So if we do go lower, my next target point is the support range. Well, it's not even really a support range. It's just a demand zone. It's within the demand range anyways. This would be about a 35.81% drop. If we're looking at, like, we'll say, Bitcoin. So I always looked at like Bitcoin, and I always kind of look at XLM, like where will Bitcoin have to go for XLM to hit these numbers? Well, one, in my previous videos, I was talking about how we could possibly see like a 17.1 to about like a 16.6K retest of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin tested to 16.6K, that would be about an 11% drop. Most assets will kind of double that drop. So we'd most likely see about a 22% correction from our current price action if we do see that, which is right around, so this is very interesting, it's right around the demand range before we broke out in 2020. As you guys do see, there's quite a bit of support here. So if we do see lower, It would most likely be this range down here. I was a buyer at 7 cents, well, around 7 cents. I think I bought at like 7.5, which is totally fine. I mean, honestly, let's be honest, like 7.5 cents. And if we go to like we'll say $3 plus, which is like $3.65, I'm not too concerned about that additional percentage down that I could have bought at, right? I don't really care about buying the exact bottom. I don't think that we should be aiming to buy the exact bottom. I think that we should be aiming to buy around the bottom point. So the big question in the room is like, okay, is XLM bottom? Is crypto bottom? Nobody knows for certain, right? We can't tell for certain, but there's been a lot of bear signs recently this week. So I would wait to see the weekend price action. I would wait to see Friday's price action, so today's price action, and I would wait to see Monday because Monday will be the big sign. So I will most likely be a buyer this weekend if we do see a significant correction on Bitcoin, because I do think that altcoins will kind of get a little bit slaughtered on Bitcoin's next drop down. I haven't really looked at Bitcoin dominance, but I know that Bitcoin dominance was rising recently, and yeah, we're seeing it at like 42%. So I'm focused on this quite a bit right now. You know, demand range, it's very similar to what we've seen recently, going back to, you know, it's 2022. Like in 2022, I was focused on this demand range to see a significant drop and then have that nice impulse up, and we've seen that. We've seen that here as well. We're kind of seeing this nice sort of, you know, sort of uptrend. I'm expecting 60% to be tested eventually, but we will have to see Bitcoin kind of pump out a little bit. But nonetheless, this is not about Bitcoin. It's about XLM. And in my opinion, when we look at XLM, when we look at what's happening around real world adoption of crypto, I think XLM and XRP are set to have an incredible time going forward. I think that XRP, the main focus point is the lawsuit, right? We need to get the lawsuit behind us. But once we do see that, I think everything's going to change around the space. I think that XLM and XRP and assets very similar to them that have that utility aspect to them is going to be the big game changer. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on because I'm more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord, down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Wherever you guys are on this beautiful world, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.